get into the mix.
30, quiet on the set, please. Welcome, beloved, to this edition of Hear, O Yah. Is I is or is I ain't? Your brother, Gidon ben Yashara'al. Where's all the Tyrians at? Hurry up and get them Tyrians. Where's Big Mama? Where's Pawpaw? Go out into the highways and the byways and bring all the kinfolk around the television set. Why? Because we have a special. That's right, we have a special program designed specifically with you in mind. But of course, the views and opinions expressed are those of me, a po-colored country boy cotton picker by way of Israel, and the panelists that Yah has set, but not those of Comcast, their management, advertisers, or affiliates. And of course, there is a mature verbiage alert. It's in full effect. You feel me? Because the Most High done brought something real up in this piece. Today's program title is, You Ain't No Man. You ain't no man. Why do I say that? But before I get into You Ain't No Man, let's talk about Kumagai, one who is a man. That is a Liberian term that means real man. And who am I referring to? My beloved brother, Mark Johnson. He was interned last Thursday, in Pensacola, Florida. It was a beautiful procession and what can I say, gathering of his family members. And, you know, as we went down and in the church, you know, traditional church concept, Christian environment, and as you and I know, Mark was a realist in the sense that he didn't believe in the biblical story in its completeness. He said it was called, plagiarized version, because he was a world traveler. He went to Egypt and Cambodia, Vietnam, Japan, and various other places over the world, and therefore his understandings of ancient cultures, which predated the Bible, did not reflect on him as the original story. But that having been said, because he was my best friend, one of them, and brother, and my boss and whom I work with, we had many, many discussions about the Bible, our history, our culture, and of course he knew my beloved elder Yaakov ben Israel before I did, him and his twin brother, and now they're both deceased. But before they left, they fought. Not only was Mark known to be an intellect and a world traveler, he was fearless, to the extent him and his brother fought with Philip Morris and won. And the American people heard their case and agreed with them. And they were allotted the largest single amount for a family in the history of this country. Unfortunately, like anything that the white man do, has technology attached to it, and neither one of them will see one dime. But we pray, as Philip Morris, you know, finagles and wrangles and, you know, what do they call it? They'll go back and set it up where you had to go back to court. They want to do that until his children are dead.
Appeal, they call it appeal.
They call it an appeal. Thank you there, my beloved brother, Elder Sundown. It is one of those issues that we have to deal with in white supremacist America. But I was a pallbearer. His family allowed me that because they know I love the brother. And he was left with his surviving daughters, beautiful daughters. And Mark showed me so much on so many, master electrician, carpenter, the brother just plumber, all of those skills he imparted to me. And I never got licensed or anything like that, but I have those skills based on that brother's intellect and me working with him for the last 7.5 years. 240, 6'4", went down in 4.5 months to less than 100 pounds, and then his ultimate demise, dealing with the pressures that this system put on him. And one of the few pleasures that Mark had after working for 12 hours on one job, and then when he left that, he and I would get out and go work another 5, 10, however long, many hours, worked himself to death. You know why? Because the wives that he had and the things that he wanted, they precipitated to him to work, and his only small little thing that he had as comfort was to sit down and drink about 4 or 5 Heinekens every night and to smoke him a cigarette, which both of them, the alcohol is a degenerate, corrosive, and the cigarettes was laced with chemicals that they designed to destroy the lungs of woolly-haired, melanated people. And they proved it in court. Unfortunately, he won't be able to receive any of the benefits from that. But again, he is survived by his daughters, Whitney Dennis, beautiful angel, strong soldier princess, Angel Slaughter, Omari Michael Johnson, her husband. They're both doing great in their various pursuits. Shanika Richardson, siblings, James Melvin, Bud Johnson, his brothers. He got strong brothers, you know. His beautiful mother helped to, you talk about a warrior, she is the warrior princess that helped to show him how to be a warrior. But of course, it was his father who was the solid rock. But of course, too many of us as men die early, and he died early. And that's the problem. We working for this white supremacist system, and then we got the pressure of our wives and females telling us what we need to do. And what did the brothers end up doing? Working themselves to death. And for what? Melvin Bud Johnson, Eve, John R. Dooley, his younger brother's great historian, dreaded up, so that lets you know right there he knows something. And Fitzgerald Johnson Lee, Frank Johnson, Marcia Ann Thornhill, and Walters Johnson, host of the nieces, nephews, and cousins, and his beautiful, solidly hard, precious mother. Now, the name Johnson is relevant, and we will miss my brother. And of course, as I was at the church and blubbering and crying and going on, they kept calling my name. I wasn't going to go up and speak. His brother like, you going to come all the way down here and don't speak about my brother. So I'm snotty nose, crying and everything. I went up there and said what I had to say about my beloved brother, because I truly loved him as a man, as a brother, as a soldier. Ain't no punk thing up in him. Now, this name Johnson is relevant because on my family, my father's side is Johnson. Not my biological father, I'm sorry, my grandfather on his side, his name is Johnson. And the interesting thing is, one thing why white folks hate us so, there are two elements. One is our power, the other is our beauty. And I fashioned this because I was looking at mixed martial arts, and of course, and let me just say this, stop it, America, stop it. Stop the competition, stop the wanton, when I say competition, pitting men against men, women against women. You got us sitting up, going to these events where we beat each other senseless. For what? For what? Just for some money? Yep. Just for some paper? Just for some naked women, white women walking around in the ring so that they can say, oh, look how powerful he was, beating each other to death. However, because we're dealing in this very corrupt, vile system, it was the WWF, the UFC, mixed martial arts in Stockholm, Sweden. It was the biggest match that has been touted since the 50s, when this Swede came in the 50s and knocked Floyd Patterson out. And they had pumped this thing up to the extent where they were a rematch. His name is Alexander Gustafsson. This white boy, 6'2", solid rock. They had touted him to be the next big thing. You know what I'm talking about? And he talked a lot of talk and so forth and so on until he met Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson not only was from Florida, where my family, Mark's family from Florida down there, he also was from Georgia. And my God family that took me in off the street, the Gibsons, the Stanleys, all up, they're from Dublin, Georgia. And guess where Anthony Johnson was from? Dublin, Georgia. He represented Georgia well. To look at this brother, you knew he wasn't nothing to play with. And this white boy, you know how white, they just can't stand up under this pressure. That unmelanated skin can't handle me. His ears, you know, that cauliflower ear, and he was beat all down, but they loved him. 30,000 came at 2 o'clock a.m. to see what they thought was going to be the beat down. And they had pumped this thing up. See, this is why Whitey hates us. They ain't going to meet us one-to-one, man-to-man. Because you stand before a brother, you better call your mother. You know what I'm talking about? Because we are people of peace, but we built for war. And they brought this brother up in here, and guess what? All the odds was against him. The two brothers that were the commentators, they were saying, they asked them who was going to win. They were, oh, well, you know, the white boys, he's more intelligent. His game, his feet, his this, his that. This brother didn't sit up there. He looked at, he was very calm, was not, you know, brother built like a solid rock brick house. You know what I'm talking about? So the brother came up in there, 30,000 white folks in there railing and robbing, and this thing was on and popping. 2.5 minutes after this thing was on, that white boy was on his hands and knees, and that brother was beating the hell out of him, like he stole something from his mama. You know what I'm talking about? And they had to stop the match. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
See, this thing about who we are as a people, and the unfortunate thing is, rallied around this powerful prince, this soldier. Yay! Everybody love his soldier, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
But when they saw this soldier and he beat this white boy down, 30,000 people, you could hear a pin drop.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And when the brother stood up, you know, the rest of them go off into this, you know, he didn't even go into that thing. One thing he didn't do was thank the Creator.
Yes.
That was his mistake. But unfortunately, when you're around Whitey, he don't believe in the Creator no how. All his handlers and everything was white. Everybody in there was another brother with a heavyweight fight that fought before him. They gave it to the white boy because ain't none of the judges us. You feel me? So when we deal with Whitey, we have to deal with him because this is his system. This fight game is his. You understand? And the odds are stacked against us. And they couldn't pull no trick knowledge. The brother had whooped this white boy so bad and so quick, before they could pull the rabbit out, they had to tell lies or throw something in it. It was over with. You know what I'm talking about? So this thing is what I'm trying to tell you is our people have been co-opted under the white supremacist system. The women have been co-opted to support white supremacy against us. Do you think the white man has ever given us anything that was good for us? Now, why do you think that every time you turn around, you see a woman with a short dress and she's slinging muss all over the place? You got shake dance clubs everywhere. You got TV wearing the short dresses everywhere because they want to take your mind off the Creator and put it on what's created. You understand? You got one of the brothers, WAOK, called in talking about because what he heard me say, the only thing you hear me say was the woman this and the woman that. What I'm talking about is the system that uses the woman to distract the man to make sure that this brother got his mind on trying to go out and pay off so many bills that not only can he not think, he can't do nothing but try to follow her lead. Isn't that what Adam did in the beginning? Because he told the Creator. Now this is Adam telling the Creator, he said, who told you you was naked? They were hiding themselves, right? Yep. And Adam said, well, we were naked and we hid ourselves. And he asked that question. And what did Adam say to the, said, why did you eat of the tree that I told you not to? He said, this woman you gave me, she ate and she gave me to eat. In essence, before the woman, it was all peace. After the woman, that's what Adam said. So what I'm trying to get you to understand, the man and the woman, and see, we just came from an economic development meeting. This is not just in the world system. This is in the Hebrew community. Because it was given to everybody that we were going to have this meeting. Not one of the sisters showed up. Because women think that they're more intelligent than us. Their economics, they don't understand that they're being used by this system. You got the nationalists that worship the woman. You got brothers like, I can't even remember the brother's name, that say, well, the woman, when you get inside her, you in a taste of heaven. Brother, that means you don't know nothing about spiritual things. If you think that woman's orifice is a taste of heaven, them little few minutes you squirt that juice out, you think that's heaven? That's why we're in the position that we're in. Because our sons are what is real and what is fake. They don't understand why the white man is charting our women in front of us, putting them in them tight pants and them short dresses and with their breasts all out. That's why I love the Hebrew women, the Muslim women, and any woman that covers herself. It's a reason why she's supposed to be covered. Because that covering is a protection. That husband is a protection. I'm not saying that the man and woman itself don't necessarily have independent skills and abilities. I'm saying together we cannot be stopped, just like the Tower of Babel. They said they have come together in unity and nothing will be withheld from them. But because of the mindset of our women, and they're working on these jobs and they think they got the money, they come home and put the pressure on the man, and if the man loses his job, oh now, and that's why I came up with the title of this show. Because see, when I talk to my wives, I still talk to them, all of them, even though they out doing what they do. And I said, you know, when I work, money is not my focus. Oh, money ain't your focus. You ain't no man. This is wife number 2. Wife number 3, you ain't no businessman. You don't know nothing about business. Because my focus is not money, it's service. And when we serve one another, then the right thinking person will give you what your due is. But the liar, the cheater, the corrupt mind thinking will think, oh, well, you didn't give me a price, so I can gyp you. Well, that's the issue. We've been gypping each other from the very beginning. And that's why we're in the position we're in today. Now, let me go to the scripture right here. Because when we talk about our people in the context, and let me just say this, in the congregation of Yahshua 5658 LaDonna Drive, you know, we're trying to come up with the economic development, and you got elders in the congregation that when we talk about bringing other people in, don't think like we do, they've fallen away. These some of the loudest talking, vibrant, you know, people handle money and everything. But now, when brethren come together to try to unify, they ain't in the conversation. They don't fell back, sistering and so forth, you know, because they, in the traditional concept of the culture, women deal with women, men deal with men. No, we got to come together. That's been the problem. The women been strategizing together. They've been developing economically together with the white man and with other white women, but coming together as a unified force in our community. They say, no, the women need to do this together and the men need to do that together. In some circumstances, right. But if we don't come together, we're going to continue to perpetuate this poison that we're in today. Now, in Deuteronomy chapter 32, I want to pick it up at verse 30, and this is the issue why we're hated right here. Because our love, and you know, the brother came in there, he was not bruised. He's like Muhammad Ali. He didn't have a scar on him. They hate us because of our beauty. Verse 29, oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How could one chase 1,000 and 2 put 10,000 to flight? except their rock had sold them, and Yah had shut them up. For their rock is not the rock of for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being their judges. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, faggots, punks, sissies, and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. Is not this laid up and stored with me and among my treasures? To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them shall make haste. To my right, you know who he is when we talk about economic development and spiritual development. He is a mastermind, Elder Doug Martin.
Appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to be slow and easy. I'm going to be respectful, and I'm going to let these gentlemen say what they need to say. Then I'm going to come back and spank them both.
There you go. And to his right, you know who he is. He's the realest of the real, the field of the field, Jay Realist. Peace and blessings, baby.
Long time.
You already know. And to his right, Assalamu alaikum. His name reflects the time of day, but not a state of mind. Elder Sunday.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. In his words of peace and paradise, Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, peace and blessings, my brother.
You know, I'm going to come to the realist because it's been a minute since he's been up in this piece. His spirit is always, he was here with Mark. So when I told, he just found out that my brother was no longer with us. What's going on with your player from the Himalaya?
Oh man, since I left here, man, I've been actually in behavioral studies.
Yes, sir.
I've been actually working with people that's dual diagnosed, let's say schizophrenic and alcoholism. Schizophrenic and alcoholism, let's say they're dealing with sexual traumas. And but I do want the media to know that they're locking our black children up, giving them pedophile charges for pinching a little girl butt in class.
Right.
So women that have children, have black male children, you better talk to these boys. And I'm talking about you better talk to them fast. Because the ones that I have to speak to, they're just like your boys. They just got caught with some white teacher or some female black teacher, I'm sorry to say it, calling them out, saying that they did some deviance when I pinched butts in school. I did more than pinch butts. I followed a home pinching a butt all the way to the house. Cause mama didn't come to work there after like 6, so we did a little more than pinching butts when we got to the house.
Look out now. Look out.
And today, I'm a proud father of 5 children. Love them all, beautiful home in Stockbridge. So that didn't make me a pedophile. Why are we now turning our children into pedophiles and all kind of deviants when they were giving us felons at 16? So I guess the pedophile concept was still being applied in the 70s, but it was felonies. Now they're going over the top, past the felon stage, and now giving them everyday checkpoint system of pedophile. They got to report. They got to do all this from 16 till they die. Just for pinching a girl butt on the bus. So yes, we need to find out what's wrong with these houses and why these boys are being boys all the way up into their 30s. Mama sitting watching them, grandma sitting watching them, papa sitting here watching them, and y'all all letting these boys become girls, become Black Caucus girls again, and Greeks. Here it is, you don't work your ass, you don't work your butt off to get these in school.
That's right.
And soon as they graduate, they become a Greek. Then they become part of the Black Caucus of officers, Black Caucus of engineers, Black Caucus of architects, Black Caucus. Do you know what caucus mean? You out. That means you got him on and he left you out. And now he's part of some celestial group of guys and handshakes that ain't got nothing to do with the whole mission of coming back to the village, raising consciousness.
Come on.
So my problem is with the young boy's mother, the young boy's father. Because just because you're not in the house, all my kids, guess what? I got 4 baby mamas.
That's right.
I'm not proud of it because I came from a home like that. So when they did an ACE study, let me speak about technical terms. They did an ACE study. ACE study is an adverse childhood experience. An adverse childhood experience is, do you know 85% of all mental health patients that take medication of some kind had a sexual trauma between 1 and 18?
Come on.
Oh yeah, and they're making decisions all their life based off of that trauma. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's deeper than most, and there's a lot of pedophilia going on in these black houses.
Yes, sir.
And ain't nobody talking about it.
Exactly.
And then when that child grow up and touching a little girl, then you want to see him to jail. And then what happened to the one that touched him in the beginning?
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of cancerous things going on in our black families, and we need to address it, and that's why I'm here today.
Yay,
Well
we be
said.
clubbing.
Well said.
Everybody want to see a woman shake something. You know what I'm talking about? That's the problem. See,
That's
we
the
be
problem.
clubbing just like the
Yeah,
woman
that's
who
real.
left her children in the house and it burned down.
Yes, sir.
Because
She
she
did that
be
on purpose.
clubbing. And that clubbing mentality with her out there doing it. When you see a man who want to stand up, they hate a man. Because when a man stands up, that means that makes them sincere. Come on in here, sundown.
Brother, I'm glad that we touching on this. I watched the Whitney Houston movie last night.
Yes, sir.
And in that movie, I saw the self-destructive behavior. And Whitney said something that touched my intellect. She said her mama sent her to an all-girl Catholic school at 13.
Yes, sir.
She said they hated her. They abused her.
That's right.
And she didn't know how to rationalize and how to entertain it and how to address that. So then when she come out of there and started singing in the church, that was her outlet, because that trauma was so till she didn't know how to express herself. She was shy and all of that. Other word, it made her become an introvert.
That's right. That's right.
Now, when she got into the music industry, people blame Bobby Brown. She was doing cocaine. She the one that
she met
introduced
Bobby.
Bobby to cocaine.
Come on, bro. Tell the truth.
She had a miscarriage when she did the movie, The Bodyguard. She wanted to take time off. Clyde Davis and them wouldn't allow it.
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying? So after she had Bobby Christina, she wanted to take 2 years off to nurture and raise that baby.
Right.
They got Bobby to influence her to go back on the road and tour.
See?
Now, Bobby lost himself. Before he met Whitney, he was a writer,
Right.
all of that. But once he married her and her career flourished, and Clyde and them
Used
him to, you know,
Yes, sir.
then he became angry. Then he turned on himself. Then he got back with his boys that was into the cocaine and
Yes, sir.
stuff.
Yes, sir.
And him and his boys was at this club. Like you said, clubbing.
clubbing,
with
baby.
the women naked. I'm talking about they were just freaking down.
That's how we do it.
So this brother that Bobby's best friend was getting the cane from showed up and say, "You owe us." The man say, "You got 8 bags." The brother say, "No, I got 6." He said, "Well, regardless, you still owe us." So Bobby jumped in and the brother say, "Who are you?" "I'm talking to your friend.
Right.
You stay out. You ain't got nothing to do with this."
Yes, sir.
Fast forward. Bobby and his friend go outside. They didn't see. I'm like the writers and the director.
Yes, sir.
I can look. Time they went outside, the boy that Bobby's best friend was arguing with walked up to him and shot him in the back of the head.
Yes, sir.
He fell on Bobby and blood just went all in Bobby's face. Freaked him out.
Yes, sir.
You know.
That's a trauma.
So
That's a
that,
trauma.
yeah.
That's
So what I'm
trauma.
saying to you is it goes back
Yes, sir.
to, like he was saying, the childhood, what happened to us when we are children.
That's right.
And
That's
the
right.
grown people, whether it be a friend, uncle, granddad, or who, that tamper with us, sweep it under the rug,
Come
and
on.
then we bring that stuff on into adulthood.
That's right.
Have a
That's
miserable
right.
life.
Right. Because, I mean, look at the degenerate behavior
Yes, sir.
that we have.
Yes,
now,
sir.
I want to focus on Martin Luther King,
Come on
the
now.
Selma.
Yes, sir.
I want everybody to see this.
Mm-hmm.
Tavis Smiley talked about the real Martin Luther King.
Mm.
And he talked about how all the Whitney Young turned on Martin Luther King.
All them preachers.
Ralph Bunche turned on Martin Luther King.
Come on.
Adam Clayton Powell turned on Martin Luther
Yes, sir.
King. All of them. The black press turned on Martin Luther King, not just the white press.
Yes, sir.
And they went on to say that they talking about the white people that were aiding, they were infiltrating
Yes, sir.
the movement.
That's
they weren't
right.
there to help.
That's right.
They were infiltrating them. So they don't put Al Sharpton and them, they don't put the real Dr. King out here. You see what I'm saying,
Yes, sir.
brother?
Yes, sir.
They whitewash this crap.
Come on.
And you have to admit, white supremacy is behind this,
Ain't no doubt about it.
you know, because if the truth be told, we would know the real Dr. King. He was very radical.
Yes, he was.
And the sermon that he was going to teach on when he got killed in Memphis, that
Yes, sir.
following Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
was that this country was going to go to hell if it didn't turn around and address the injustice and help us come out of this poverty that had been done to us and the justice.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you something before we get to Doug here, because there are two components. As I saw Mark degenerate, unfortunately, I was there at the hospitals with him. One of the main things when we talk about economic development, see, we don't teach our sons budget management at home.
Right.
We don't teach our sons
Debt
cleanliness,
ratio,
the
income.
cleanliness
Right.
and the food.
Right.
See, whoever controls the food controls the house. Now, I did see Whitney's brother was there and came from Pensacola and helped to nurture Mark. Because, you know, we have an issue with seeing other men
Right,
naked.
right.
But if we don't learn how to take care of each other
Right.
to where we love each other,
Right,
I agree.
that's one thing about the sexual deviance. They do have that component
Right.
where they as men
Right.
take care of each other.
Right.
But the males that we are, we have an issue with taking care of one another.
Now
And the
let me-
second thing,
okay,
go ahead.
I want to go.
Briefly.
When I got hurt back in the 80s,
Yes, sir.
remember I told you the lieutenant of the Nation of Islam would come to the hospital. He would bring me the fish supreme.
Yes,
He
sir.
would bring me the bean pie.
Yes, sir.
He would bring me the vegetables
Yes,
from the
sir.
bar.
Yes, sir.
He would bring me the final
Come
call.
on
He would
now.
bring me the tape.
Yes, sir.
Brother Anthony would do the same thing. Shout out to Brother Anthony Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
So you are right. That's one thing about the brothers in the nation. They do that.
That love, that
Yeah.
nurture, we got
And-
to have that.
Once they did that to me, once I got out the hospital, I took on that.
That's right.
I started doing it for myself.
That's right.
That's when I started learning how to cook, brother. I can out-cook any woman
That's right.
because I've been doing it so long. My children, when they would sit down and eat, they would say, Daddy,
Yes, sir.
you need to put this on the market.
That's
you
right.
can sell this.
One last thing before we get over to Doug. We always talk about that rat down here
Okay.
that the folks love. And come to find out, folks down there, because one of my wives, I told her, I said, let's don't go down. I don't want to see no rat. Don't take my grandson, which on that, that's her son had to see no rat. Man, she took him to see the rat. Tell us what happened with the rat and the environment in California down here.
Brother, it's a measles outbreak.
Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, it done spread it to 6 states. now.
Come on now.
It was 5, but this week it done spread it to 6 states. And it started at Disneyland.
Yes, sir.
Both of them in California.
That's right.
Now they blaming it on people not getting inoculated. Right.
Because they want to
Now,
yes,
now
sir. Go
this
ahead.
week it came out that some of the people that inoculated still got it.
Exactly.
So this is what we said about a month ago,
Yes,
and it's
sir.
in the final call.
Wow.
Said, come out of her, my
people.
Do not
Partake
partake of her
in her
sin and
sin."
plagues.
I'm on in here, Doug Martin. We talk about economic development. You are the man.
I do want to say forthright and up front that economic development is for the family.
Come on.
Individually, we can put any kind of connotation on it that we want, but to get what I want out of life is not strong enough for me to go out there and do what I would not do. But a family, to educate my children, to feed my wife, to give a good retirement to everybody, to take care of my mom in her old age, to take care of father as he approached 85 years old. I will get out there and do what I would not otherwise do.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are protocols to making money. You go to Walmart, grab a lawnmower, get you a rake, get you a gas can, make you some leaflets, go door to door. I'll cut your grass for $35. And by the end of the day, you have some contracts and you've cut a few grasses.
Right.
But if you yourself is not on the job, you don't make no money.
That's right.
So when it comes to making money and when it comes to create a business, we're talking two different things.
Yes, sir.
Right.
When you start creating a business, you got to answer the 5 questions in the universe. Who are you creating it for?
Right.
Why are you creating it? What are you going to do with it once it's created?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to create it? And then when you get tired of it and you want to get rid of it, or when somebody else wanted it offer you a price,
Yes, sir.
what's your exit program? How are you going to get away with it? Now, one person, I've never seen one person become a millionaire even of himself. Now, different people say, what if I have a gold mine and I mine the gold myself? But when you get ready to cash the gold in, somebody else got to come in there.
Yes, sir.
When you get ready to buy anything that you're going to buy from that new wealth you got to spend the money with somebody.
That's
I've never seen a fish, a dog, a monkey, or anything like that. Take money, spend money, give you their services for money.
Right.
Now, it's one thing that man got above every animal out there that's directly related to his ability to make money. That is, man is the only species on the face of the earth who from birth got a tool-making mentality.
Yes, sir.
Ever since he discovered how to make fire, he's been making tools.
Yes, sir.
Ever since he discovered how to take a rock and make it round so that he can roll around things easy, he's been making tools.
Yes, sir.
Now, my question is, when it comes to economically freeing our family, whose responsibility it is to create, which is make, and provide the tools to do that from the members of the family that's got the skills to do it. Now, that's what we call the intellectual gentsia. May I say that again?
Yes, sir.
The job, the spiritual job of the intellectual gentsia, that's those of us who think that we got something to teach. Our spiritual job is to identify the skills, the gifts, the talents of the masses of the people.
Yes, sir.
I ain't talking about in your own family.
That's right.
I'm talking about the masses of the
Come on,
people.
come on.
I'm not talking about those cliques that we put together
Right.
that make us feel better than anybody else, but I'm talking about the masses of the people.
Yes, sir.
Then what we do after we identify those skills, gifts, and talents is to create, develop, or maintain the tools of the trade
Yes, sir.
so that they can go to work.
That's right.
Then we teach our children, go to school, get a good education, so that you can bring it back and use these tools to create a income for yourself and family.
That's right.
Presently, we're teaching them, yes, go to school, get a good education. And when you come back, go over there. And over yonder is corporate America.
That's right.
You go
That's
over
right.
there and
That's
get a
right.
job.
That's right.
And if they don't give you a job, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to protest. I'm going to jump up and
That's
down.
right.
I'm going to holler and hoop.
Exactly.
And I'm going to make them give you a job.
Exactly.
Now, when you go over there, the first thing that they want is you, not your family.
Right.
That's right.
Leave them at home.
Exactly.
You, not your dreams, not your visions.
Exactly.
You,
Right.
not your friends,
Right.
not the other people.
That's right.
You.
Right.
And for 8 to 10 hours a day that I pay you, I want you, all of you,
Yes, right.
spiritually. If you have to pray, go in the bathroom, just don't do it in public.
Exactly.
If you think, get in a corner,
That's
bring
right.
me the objects of your thought.
Right.
Now,
Come on, bro.
at the end of that 8 hours, if you have energy, any energy whatsoever left over,
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a couple of more hours to work for me.
That's right.
Because when
That's
you
right.
get home and the thought of cooking food, I want that to be distant because I want you to go down to the place,
Exactly.
buy your family food and take it there for them to eat.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
When you think about spending family time, they don't need it because you need money to raise them.
Exactly.
Now, to change all that thinking around,
Come on.
so that we provide the employment for our children, it's going to take the understanding of economic development from the grassroots.
Yes, sir.
Us, we're the ones that's got to put that together. One more thing, and then I'm going to be silent for a moment.
Yes, sir.
we don't seem to understand, or perhaps we were taught not to understand, that the way that we have to organize ourselves is group development. We must work inside of a group. Now, if we don't organize ourselves into a group, institutions will not come.
Right.
Other things that will aid us will not be at our fingertips.
Yes, sir.
Now, we understand that on a spiritual level because there's not a faith-based organization, be it a church, a mosque, or anything else out there, a synagogue, that the group, the members, the group do not take care of.
Right.
Now, can the black businessman build the same type of structure that other businessmen build? Yes. Do you have any proof? Yes. Let's leave business out of it. Black people go to church.
Right.
White people go to church.
Right.
Black people tied into their church.
Yes, sir.
White people tied into their church. The only thing you have to do is go down on the corner and look for the nearest black church, and you see a great monstrosity. You see a great cathedral. If black people didn't spend money right, that cathedral would not be there. If black people didn't spend money right, the professionalism that come out of the ministry would not be there.
Yes, sir.
So now we're talking about creating a business mentality and understanding once we put the control of that $1 trillion the black people are going to make in 2015 in the hands of black people, they have the same kind of power that other cultures have. Now, I said one thing, but I'm going to squeeze another thing in there. Now, we go to nail shops where you have Koreans work.
Oh, boy.
Now, we don't find none of us working in there.
None.
But now they are there. They did the research, the market research before they came.
Right.
They understood how we wanted our how we wanted those pedicures, which I'm talking toenails done.
Yes, sir.
So what they did, they know that many of us have diabetes.
Yes, sir.
So they went to school and said, how do I cut the nails of a diabetic?
Exactly.
They taught them nails of a diabetic in school.
Exactly.
They put that comfortable chair there, which cost them money.
That's right.
They got all these solutions that they need. They got gloves, they got masks, they got everything to make them feel
That's right.
that they know what they're talking about. But now melanated people that look like you are not the ones doing it. It's not $2, $3, $4.
No, sir.
Not only do they have a workable wage,
Sir.
but they're going to make sure that they can educate their families
right.
and that they live in the best houses that
That's
America got,
That's
drive
right.
the best cars that
That's
America got,
That's
and
right.
it's all coming from your culture.
Exactly.
Because when you get ready to provide pedicures and manicures for the mass of the people, you won't come into a salon, go back in the back, one room with a chair, and somebody, male or female, there with a pot of water and a case of tools like this right here that they can reach over and get whatever they need to cut the nails.
Right.
There's no concern about properly cutting diabetic nails. They do not question you about your health issues. Now, when you leave out of there, you got your nails well done.
Yes.
But the professionalism of the trade that I know that they're going to do the job right because they know my health issues.
That's right.
And if you prick between my toes, that's going to start bleeding.
That's right.
And it ain't going to be able to stop until I go to the emergency room.
That's right.
So they have the tools specialized
That's right.
that would take care of that nail without getting in there. And now for that, they're charging us above a fair market wage.
That's right.
Now we go in there and we gladly pay it to them
To another
because
nation.
they know how to cut my nails. But now what we don't understand is that's taking the job from you to teach your people
Right.
how to professionally get it done.
That's right.
And that's taking an employee that look like you
Right.
off the table
That's right.
because you're not willing to pay them a fair market wage to do it.
I want to say 770-559-2999. 770-559-2999. This is your show. And you know, realists, you talked about, and it's very important, the mentality, because see, I went to Valdosta, which we know Kendrick Johnson. His case is still pending. They killed him, mutilated him,
Yes,
and on film, doctored the film, and still, you know what I'm saying, still got things up in the air.
And stuffed them with newspapers.
Yes, sir, and stuffed them with newspapers. When we talk about this mentality that starts very young, because many of our households have 2, 3, 4 different daddies and mamas. Sally has 2, 3 mamas. And this trauma, talk to to us about how it impacts our children as you did, and give us some more
Hello?
insights.
Well, piggybacking off of the last thing I mentioned, these individuals who suffered from these quote-unquote traumas and from these things, they died 25 years before the average person. I didn't get the chance to say that. They all died 25 years than the average person because of stigma. Stigma and negative self-talk and negative messages. And basically, whatever they went through all their life, they regurgitated back to themselves. So until we protect the children, and I'm talking about keeping our eyes on them, all the way up until they're able to tell us who they are, what happened that day, and what's going on that day, you're not a parent.
That's right.
You're just a, how can I say, you're a breeder.
Right.
We got more breeders than we have parents.
That's right.
Just because you had a child don't make you no parent.
That's right.
Just because you got 5 kids in there don't make you a great mama 5 times.
right.
That means you made 5 mistakes if all of them ain't in your house.
Good God Almighty.
You know what I'm saying? And another thing that you failing to realize, we must protect. I said it before, but when I say protect, I'm talking about watch them. Like when my daughter, but when she would fall, I would think she was shattered in 1,000 pieces because I was that protected. And like my son, Jalen, never had a stroller. I thought the stroller was going to close him up because I was that gone off of making sure nothing happened to my babies.
Let's see if we can, let's see if we can go to the phone. 770-559-2999. Caller, speak to us. It's on you. Speak to us, caller. Caller, speak.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, what I wanted to say is I just want to welcome back Jay Rillers. I know he had said that he wasn't going to be back on the show, so it's really good to see him back on the show. You know, I know he was a little frustrated there
Give me a wide shot.
around that time that Trayvon Martin verdict came down where Zinnerman was let go. But anyway, I just want to go back to what the guy that was speaking on entrepreneurship is. I just want to kind of like speak on what he was saying. You know, I thought he made some valid good points when he just spoke about the examples of the Koreans and how they do the nail shops or whatever. So I just want to ask him, what does he think it is about the black people in the community that's not really emphasizing black entrepreneurship? Instead of, you know, speaking on positive aspects of entrepreneurship, we like to get into the negative of saying we can't do that. I mean, what is it? And why is it that we are not doing the things that you're saying that the Koreans and other nationalities are doing? Because, I mean, we are in the city of Atlanta. I mean, if you look around, everybody's is doing their thing. You know, you got the Indians working downtown, you know, the Indians with the dots in their forehead. Not talking about the Indians with the feathers, and then you got the Koreans doing the nail shops, and then you got the Arabs owning all the gas station where they charging 3 pennies over the actual tax they're supposed to be paying, and you got, you know, the Africans, they driving the cabs. I mean, and you got the black Americans, they just seem like they just going to school and really getting out of school working for people that don't look like them. So, I mean, what is it that we have to do instead of getting up on the radio every day and getting up on shows like this and just talking about the problem, which I don't think is nothing wrong with talking about the problem. But what do you think, sir, needs to be done in order to galvanize and organize to get our people in America, the black people that was born here in America, to enroll in solving these problems? And that can be a question for just anyone around the panel. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that call.
I wanna come in after him.
We got another call as well. Let's get this call in, and let's see if we can get this. We got another call? We don't. Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to give the answer to that from an economic development view in a scenario, and then I'd like to give it to this brother who will give you a social view of the same issue. Now, great, we got 3 comments on that. Now, under economic development, let us look at what happens with the Koreans that move into our community. Now, we said that group dynamics is one of the most important part of not only spiritual, mental, and physical businesses, but we cannot do without it. Now, before the Korean come to America, when he's in Korea, they have an organization that has already done the research on what is needed in America, and he's able to look at films and choose what city he's going to live in, where he's going to live, what kind of business that he has, and what he's going to do when he get here. Now here in America, when Koreans and other nationalities do too, when they buy a business and they get ready to resell that business, they're not going out of that culture to find somebody to buy that business.
right.
They're going to sell it to somebody inside their culture.
That's right.
Now let us go back to Korea. Not only do we have the intellectual people over there who have already done the research, he have the businessmen that's going to supply him with money so that he can support himself and family while he build his business. Then he have the business gurus who's going to give him a time period to make money. And if he does not do that, then they're going to move him and put him in an area where he will economically grow.
That's right.
Now you have a whole organization from that country who does nothing but deal with economic growth. When he get over here in America, he does not go to his community and sell his products or services to his community. He come to our community and sell them to us because that's the mindset he has. And he come over with a made-up mind.
That's right.
He knows that the chances of him losing family members to death, real death, because if somebody have gone in there to rob him and shoot him or whatever it is, they have already decided that they're willing to take that sacrifice.
That's right.
That has already been, the psychological effects of it have already been put into their psyche.
That's right.
So then when they come over here, he have another supportive organization that will not only give him the seed money that he needs
right.
to get his business up and off the ground, they also monitor them.
Okay, now let's go.
One more.
Okay, quickly.
This is extremely important.
Okay.
Right up here on Bankhead. No, not Bankhead, but
Not
Buford
Bankhead,
Highway.
Buford
Highway.
right.
Oh, yeah. Buford
We
Highway.
have a Asian bank
That's right.
that none of us know about because 99.9% of their clients are Asian people.
Exactly.
We have Asians coming out of North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia that travel here just to put their money into that bank.
That's right.
Now we don't have that kind of commitment economically to our to us simply because we don't have the systems in place that would feed all of that.
Now let me go.
I'm gonna go real quick.
I'm
gonna go real quick.
Because we got self-hatred. 2 words.
Yeah.
Self-hatred.
And I do want to say a lot of this is coming from excuses.
Right.
Excuses
man.
are tools of incompetence. Okay? If we got a brother with this kind of knowledge right here, I guarantee is one of him in every 4 houses.
Yes, it is.
So, lack of the community involvement and that gentleman with that knowledge not coming out, creating, okay, I'm going to change it up. Let's say, for instance, like when I was selling cars, I would put, and I'm going to blame myself for this because I could have done this to create a group and do it after this show. When I get on the train, okay, some says whatever, I pass the flyers out on the train and I leave it in the seat. I don't even speak to people because people can be so rude. So I will leave it on there, and do you know my phone will ring off the hook for months just for people that want cars. I can do the same thing for a conscious group. And I guarantee you, once they see that there is a conscious group that's actually even set up to even receive any information from them or willing to accept them without them being part of a officer caucus or a lawyer caucus. And we're just accepting you for who you are. Because last time I checked, Yahshua said, come as you are.
Come on now.
He said, come as you are, meaning an empty vessel.
Right.
He ain't meaning just in no jeans. He's talking about come with your ill-begotten thoughts. He said, come with your negative self-talk. Just come. We'll take care of the rest when you get there.
That's right.
That's
You
right.
get what I'm saying?
right.
So we can get this back. Only way we're going to get it back is when every step we take has a conscious effort behind it.
Well
That's
said.
right. That's right. Come on in
Well
here.
said.
Come on,
I'm going to
come
go
on.
back to the 80s when this first came out.
Yes, sir.
A lot of black people blame the Koreans, the Arabs, and
Can't
whoever.
blame nobody. We
No,
behind
I'm
it.
saying
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was in the 80s.
Go ahead.
Now, Minister Farrakhan went on a lecture tour.
Yes, sir.
We can't blame them.
That's right.
We can't blame them. We can do the same thing they do
Yes,
if
sir.
we throw off this mindset that
Yes.
Master gave us.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
you said that right.
Now let me
You
jump in
said
here. Let me
that
show
right.
you what you're talking about, how
You
true
said
it is.
that right.
One of the beautiful sisters at the congregation of Yahshua, when she ended, we ended our session, she said, well, I got some detergent, and for a certain amount, anybody can get some. And when I heard that, I thought of one of the family members.
Right.
I said, that sounds like so-and-so. It's not, his name really is irrelevant.
Right.
But the point is, this young man is street.
Right.
What they call thug.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
the day, that thug has an entrepreneurial mind. But because we've been taught to hate each other, even though when I called his name and I said that street, it was other people who said, oh yeah, well, you know, that must mean such and such a thing. I went on and bought some because I know that this young man has an entrepreneurial mindset and that spirit. But in our community, unless you look like Bill Cosby, now they don't like Bill, do they? But unless you look like Bill Cosby, we want to look at our people. We have an entrepreneurial mind as a thug, as a street, as somebody who's trying to get over, rather than looking at the genius that they have with them.
Now let me go touch on that.
Come on.
Look at the drug culture. You doggone right we got an entrepreneur mind. Look at how we distribute the drugs and make buku money.
Yes, sir.
Now we can do that same kind of entrepreneur spirit
sir.
in what we talking about.
That's right.
Now I want to talk about the Muhammad's economic blueprint.
Come on.
See what I'm talking about?
Sir.
That Elijah Muhammad set up over 60, 70 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Now, brother, if we didn't have self-hatred like what you're talking about,
that's right.
we could have been done fixed this.
Yes, sir.
Now, you got, he talking about the lawyers and the doctors. Okay, you got so many of our people want to follow that trend.
That's right.
Okay, once they get in there, then they turn out just like the ones that's in there.
I call them white niggas.
Yeah.
They turn into white niggas.
You know,
white
minutes
niggas.
for what we doing on Sunday morning.
So this can be stopped overnight.
Yes, sir.
If we throw off the mindset of the slave master and get rid of this self-hatred.
We just left a meeting at the Congregation of Yahshua Economic Development. Our family members haven't heard me because I'm out of job, so everybody moved back. Except for, you know, because, you know, it's that hatred. You know, you got brothers, elders in the group move back because I want to see the nigga fall. I know. When you start crying and hollering, I know it's all good. See
that negativity you talking about?
Hatred, because we haven't understood that the Creator has His hands on the poor. He's gonna help the poor. That's why they think only because you work for Whitey, that's the only way you gonna do. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead and talk about it, boss.
Okay, I want to invite everybody. I want to invite everybody.
Everybody.
Especially everybody that's got a business, that's got a formula, that's got a business concept, startup business, or functioning business, and even those of us who's got a proven business, to come out to LaDonna Drive.
Yes, sir.
Sunday, 2 weeks from today.
That's right.
We will be back there.
That's right.
And we want to expand this.
Sweet
I want you to challenge me to prove if what I have said is not the truth.
Come on.
Now, I love the way that it's written in the Bible. If you say you believe, do you think you're not be tested? If we say we need an economic system to free us economically, and that it starts in the mind, because spiritually, our collective mind is already made up.
Yes, sir.
It is our mental mind, the one inside of this thing right here, that we've got to worry about.
Give them a website so you know they can go see what we're trying to develop there.
The gold standard, tgsrescuekit.com, is the first one. And let me just leave that with you. And then every week I'll talk about that one, and I'll give you insights at MainStreetStore.com.
All right. So we hope that this program has inspired you. It is about the spirit of Yah building bridges of unity in the name of His anointed Son, Yeshua. I am His servant. This is what we do. We want to thank Comcast, Black, Mike, my other brothers that's in there from another mother, you feel me? We doing what we do. We got a beautiful princess out here. She was looking like a princess because I already knew when I felt the spirit. It's all good in the fact that we do the things that we do. In the Hebrew community, LD says, I know congregation, NCCI, I know who you are, but you know your elder want to talk hate. We out. Peace.